Hello. Welcome back to American MMO, the only gaming channel on YouTube that will never tease you with content not coming to your Western keyboard. My name is Aaron, 20-year veteran of the MMO community, loving all things games. Today's video is going to be on the shorter end. Blizzard has now officially opened the Dark Gallery showcase for Diablo 4. I will have the first 12 images of the showcase rolling in the background, and I've added a few of my favorites for your enjoyment. While these images are rolling, I will be explaining Blizzard's vision for D4. As always, I will share my thoughts. Please feel free to share yours in the comment section below. Here we go. The Blizzard team is aiming for a dark, grim, but approachable new Diablo. D4 was Blizzard's most thrilling new game announcement at BlizzCon 2019. Not just because it was confirmation of a beloved series moving forward, but confirmation that Diablo is returning in its most beloved form. Diablo 4 is dark, foreboding, and for lack of a better comparison, think of D2. What made Blizzard go from D3, infamous for its brightly colored environments and dopamine-dispensing loot showers, to the blood-drenched darkness of D4, you ask? Let me explain. I'm going to start with some quotes from the developers. Here we go. When we read about what our players want, and have read over the last 20 years about what they've enjoyed, it's a very common reoccurring thing that Diablo 2 is held up to a sort of high watermark for tone and lore. Diablo 4 executive producer and Blizzard co-founder Alan Adam told Polygon at BlizzCon, "We agree, and so it was kind of exciting for us to think about going back to the darker time. Every time you do this kind of numerical sequel, you have this opportunity to kind of recast the die a little bit," said art director John Mueller. And we felt like, for this iteration, Diablo 4, we were really excited to kind of explore the darkness. Mueller went on to say that the current state of technology advancements, lighting techniques, that can match Blizzard's art direction ambitions in a large, contagious world of players to explore, excited the Diablo team to design the game with the grim brutality in mind. But the team didn't want to go too far with its gore, Mueller said. "We don't want it to be repulsive in any way." Mueller continued, "When we look at things like gore, we tend to think about contrast. We don't want the whole world to feel that way. We want you to feel it in moments like when you enter into the Butcher's Pit in the original Diablo. That's a great example of what we like about the tonality of the world, and that's what we're going to deliver with Diablo 4. Mueller went on to say, "Diablo 4 needs to ride a line between being dark and oppressive while still appealing to a wide audience. As far as what's in bounds or out of bounds, I think that we definitely look at the content and sometimes say, wow, that's too much. And we will pull it back because we really do want the game to be approachable from a wide audience point of view." Oh yes, you know what time it is. Nerd knowledge time. For today's nerd knowledge, we will be discussing, in my opinion, one of the darkest games of all time. If not the darkest game, which is backed up by multiple sources online. Now, since the video that we're doing is all about Diablo 4 going dark, I thought this nerd knowledge would be pertinent. Anyways, Manhunt, developed by Rockstar Games for PS2. Wowzers, this was out there. Here's a premise for a game you do not hear every day. In Manhunt, you play as a prisoner who is supposed to be executed by lethal injection, but you wake up. Your savior is a demented director who tasks you with carrying out a series of gruesome gang murders to create snuff films. Obviously, this was not a game for kids, or anyone who didn't want to take a walk on the dark side. The compilation of executions above definitely proves it. Now, I was able to find a trailer for this game from 16 years ago. The quality is awful, but I think you will get the gist. Enjoy.
James Earl Cash, found guilty and sentenced to death, has been on death row for the past 3 years and was executed last night.
You've had an unexpected reprieve. Do exactly as I say, and I promise this will be over before the night is out.
Rated M for mature.
Manhunt. Way to go, Rockstar. Alright, where were we? Back to the video and some D4. The game's art direction is as much course correction as it is part of a larger cultural movement in entertainment. While none of the Diablo 4 developers we spoke with outright name TV shows like Game of Thrones as inspiration, only Robert Eggers' 2016 horror film The Witch was mentioned during our interview. It's clear Blizzard has been inspired by the success of big dark fantasy project outside of games. We did have a conversation quite a few times if we feel like darkness is having its moment. Game director Louis Barriga said, "Dark fantasy was having its moment," and we were like, "Hey, do you want to make a dark Diablo game?" I want to make a dark Diablo game. Let's talk to Adam. And he was like, yeah, you can do that. When we first started, the thing that I really keyed into was this idea of medieval fantasy. And what makes dark medieval fantasy cool, Muller said. It's really grounded in our own history. Angels and demons and mankind in the middle. This isn't a new thing, actually. When we started D4, we were looking a lot at medieval paintings and old master paintings because that's what we wanted to bring forward. We weren't looking at other video games, we weren't looking at other movies, we were looking at Rembrandt's, and we were looking at old religious paintings. And some of them are really old religious paintings. Barriga said that the team did eventually look at other video games, movies, and TV shows, particularly those that weren't afraid to go outside the boundaries and push them. As affirmation that the darker take on Diablo would have a broad appeal, you look at some of the shows on cable right now that are the most popular. Yeah, they certainly have a huge element of darkness, Barriga said. Diablo is our only mature IP, Adam said, and we made a decision right from the start. We were going to own that maturity, and we're not going to move away from it. And that's the article. Now we're going to move into my opinion. Okay? Now, taking all this in and knowing what we know, I most definitely do not want a teen version of Diablo. I would take D2 over D3 any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Now, that being said, a game that I could play with my wife and 13-year-old son that's appropriate is pretty important to me. And I think that's the idea that the devs are talking about for D4. Dark when it's meant to be dark. I'm guessing when you're in a cemetery, when you're in a prison, sewers, maybe a main boss fight. But killing packs of monsters over and over again, and that gruesomeness being in every single fight. I try to think that I played over 900 hours of D3. Over time, I'd probably get sick of it, or I'd become numb to it. It's more cool when it happens during the time that it should happen in. And that's my 2 cents. Geez, I'm excited for this game. I wish I had it in my hand right now so I could truly give it a review. It's gonna be quite a ride. And that's the video. Diablo 4 showcase images. What do you think? Too dark? Not dark enough? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching. I gotta say, I am impressed you made it this far into the video. If you want to continue to support content creators, please like, please share, please subscribe, and smash that bell. I will see you all later. Aaron.